everyone, and we're back. Welcome to another little episode from MSA. We're glad you could visit us today. We have an interesting topic to talk about. Now, it has to do with a lot of the illegal immigration that's happening currently in the country. But we're not going to be talking about the amount of people and all the things of that nature. What we're going to discuss is, it was a little while back before Speaker Mike Johnson was actually the House Speaker. This is when he was just congressman, and he was part of a committee that they were discussing the reasoning for the illegal immigration coming into the country. And so Mike Johnson had a question that he posed to Jerry Nadler. And when he asked Nadler, he said, "You're a New Yorker, and how do you feel about illegal immigrants being able to vote in New York?" And of course, Nadler said, "That's never happened and never going to happen, blah, blah, blah." And he go on. And in the meantime, you see somebody fact checking all that in the background. And then his answer changes shortly thereafter. And you'll see how all of a sudden he accepts it. What we find really interesting is the fact that if you're not a legal citizen in this country, then why are you able to vote? That's a thing that has to do with our Constitution. Now, do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate you doing that. It helps us out while we're trying to grow. And, of course, we're doing this. We want to grow. So do us a favor. Hit the button down there. Now, back to what we're discussing. The interesting part about all of this is the way when you hear Nadler change his story to like, oh, well, it's just one state, blah, blah. You'll hear it. We're going to play a clip for you in just a second. And then we're going to get back to you, and we're going to discuss this a little bit more at length. So let's just go ahead and roll this clip and let you hear what happened on this day. Ready? See you in a minute.
Can I ask, Mr. Chairman, you're from New York. Thanks to New York City's council, beginning January 9th, 2023, more than 800,000 non-citizens will be eligible to vote in municipal elections in New York. Do you agree with that policy?
No, non-citizens will not be eligible to vote in New York. They never have been. Well, they were in the 19th century eligible to vote in New York.
Well, no, this is a recent action. It was just passed in December.
No, that is not correct. Non-citizens have not been eligible to vote in New York or, as far as I know, in any other state since the 19th century.
That's not true. The New York City Council voted in December to allow this. It begins January 9, 2023. Cities in Vermont and Maryland already allow this, and similar measures are under consideration in Illinois, Maine, and Massachusetts right now.
If the gentleman will yield?
Yes.
I believe those are considerations of allowing votes in municipal elections only.
Right, but thank you. That's the point. Everybody wants to know at home, why would they allow this? Guys, they're allowing it because they're going to turn them into voters. They already are doing this in New York City, largest city in America, and this is the plan of our friends on this side to turn all the illegals into voters. That's it, folks. That's what's going on. That's the game. That's why the border's open. That's why they've dropped it. Look, I respect Ms. Lofgren and all her work in this arena. Yes, I'll yield, Mr. Chairman. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this.
As a New Yorker, I would love to think that New York is the entire country, but it is not. It is not, and consideration is being given to permitting non-citizens to vote in New York, and I believe in the capital city of Vermont. I forget which that is. But as much as I'd like to believe it, New York and Vermont are not the entire country.
But, Mr. Chairman, that's the whole point. This is what's going on, folks, at home. If you're trying to figure this out, if you're scratching your heads, you're seeing the video, you see droves of people, 2.4 million people coming over the border illegally, the president allowing, the Democrats in charge of Congress are allowing it. The deal is they're going to turn them into voters. You just heard it. They don't have any problem with that. They celebrate it. Here's the deal. We have a problem with it. The Constitution has a problem with it. American elections should be decided by American citizens. That's it. That's what this is about. That's why we're jumping up and down and screaming, my friends on the video who are commenting about this. That's why we're so upset, because our constituents are frightened that we are losing our country. We're losing our security, we're losing our sovereignty, because we're going to allow people from 160 different countries around the world to come in here and decide our elections. That's it. Here it is on record. You all heard it. I'm out of time. I yield back.
Okay, you heard Mike Johnson say it, and he said it out loud. And you know what? Honestly, Mike Johnson is a very trustworthy individual. Don't listen to all the hype that you're hearing about the guy when they're trying to discredit him. They'll always try to discredit somebody that's doing good. Trust me. Now, when you hear this discussion that's going on between the two, and you hear Mike Johnson finally say it, there we have it. They want him to be able to vote. It's getting deeper than that. And that's why here at Makes Sense America, we went ahead and rolled that out to you so you could see what was being discussed back then. Now, that was when there was 2.5 million illegal immigrants that have come into the country. Now we have well over 10 million. And you say, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would they just be allowing all these people to come into the country? And you know, we're a country filled with immigrants anyway. And so we all immigrated here at some point in time. You know, our ancestors, whether it was us or, you know, people before us that are part of our bloodline, we did have people that did that, and they did it legally, and that's why they became citizens, because they wanted to follow the American dream. See, when you have people coming here for asylum, that doesn't necessarily mean they're coming here for the American dream. They're trying to get away from something, especially when you have people that are coming from 2 and 3 and 4 countries away. You have people that are coming in from China and arriving into Mexico, however they're getting there, and then they're coming across the border into our country. And we don't understand why that is. See, and that's the biggest question that's not being answered. That's not racist, okay? That's not against anybody. That's why are you coming here? And what is your whole goal and purpose? So there's other things here at MSA that raise some questions to us. You know, we've done a little research on this, and we found that in Chicago, they are giving illegal immigrants up to $9,000 per person to be able to afford housing. We found that to be really, really interesting, you know. See, if you look at the poverty line in Chicago, now, if you wanted to get on food stamps per se, you'd need to be making just under like $18,300, I think it is, something of that nature, for a single person to be able to get on food stamps. Now, if you were 2 of these illegal immigrants, now we're going to keep the $18,000 as a ceiling, and if you were 2 of these illegal immigrants that each got $9,000 for housing, you're still underneath the poverty line and you'd be able to get food stamps. But now if you were the one individual that was, say, working just over 20 hours a week on minimum wage in Chicago, you wouldn't qualify. You'd be making too much money. So these are the kinds of things to us that don't make sense. You know, we have things in this country that really need attention. And to see people that are illegally showing up here getting housing grants, when we have people that are here that are legally supposed to be here, and they're not getting housing grants, it raises some serious questions. And then you see this bringing people in to vote. Now, whether you know this or not, there's 7 states out there that are now allowing illegal immigrants to vote on the local elections, which is, I don't understand it. It goes against our Constitution. You have to be a legal citizen here to vote. Apparently that they've gone away with that. You know, now on a state and federal level, they still cannot vote. But again, if you're going to change local legislation, who knows where this is going to go? If you've been watching some of the things that have been going on in some of these hearings, you've got the chair people that are overriding what the normal order of business would be and going ahead and taking votes on things before all of the people in the House have a chance to speak. That's getting a little political, but back to the immigration issue that we're having. Again, we now have over 10 million people that have entered into the states illegally. And if they were brought in here or allowed to come in here so they can start voting, well, we should have a problem with that. Because I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you're really destroying the country by allowing people to come in that don't belong here to vote on things that they don't really know anything about. And so I think we need to really re-examine some of the morals and values that our states are getting into and find out how our voice wasn't heard and how we allowed this to happen. That's my biggest suggestion. But, you know, I want to hear your suggestion, which would be great. Why don't you add some comments down at the bottom? You know, a lot of people watch the videos and then they exit and they don't leave comments. And I understand if you're doing that at home on your TV, but you know what? You can pick up your phone and kind of do a little thing. You know, most smart TVs, you can dial into your television and be able to add comments. But other than that, do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. And while you're in there, go ahead and smack that bell so you can get notifications of the new videos. We've got some stuff coming up that's going to be pretty juicy. And we definitely want you to see it. So we really look forward to seeing you in the near future. Remember, we love all you. So have a great day, night, month, year, whatever's going on in your world. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.